That's what.
Then she even came back down.
How long did you hold it up?
Longer than you think,
hey,
Chris. Longer than you think.
Long enough to get it up to my shoulder height and across a counter and into the scale.
The baby scale.
So
we have a scale that
I'm
we
getting
use.
stronger
nice,
out here
nice.
picking up all these heavy rocks. Thank
That's
you
our
very much,
value.
Josh.
You didn't bench press 3 sets of 10?
I doubt it. Thank you, Josh. That was great. Okay, we have a rock.
Okay.
Number
good.
1, angular rock.
That's what I put in there. Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Camera's yours.
Maybe pillow, but I doubt it. We'll see.
All right, we'll go see what this return is in front of me. It should be okay.
You get the waypoint for that, Jim?
You
need to drop a waypoint and name it.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, you dropped it.
I turned my head about 10 degrees
The port?
to see.
Ooh, a brown rock.
So if you could ladle starboard for me.
Ooh, another broken up angular rock.
Ooh, gigantic
another
rocks. Oh my gosh.
rubbly rock. We have a real mix here, you know?
Nice
I mean,
job,
it's as if
job,
these
Pat.
rocks
That was a
may have
good,
come from two
good
different
snag there.
places. And actually, that doesn't entirely surprise me because
Let's get some elevation here.
to the side of the ridge that we're approaching, there is a huge, probably a fault block that has stepped down and possibly broken up as it did so. And it looks like some of it spilled over toward us.
Okay, so is this something that would have happened from a single major event? Or
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to
Okay,
have been on
90 degrees
there.
up.
That
That thing.
whole thing just slumped.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
how long would that have taken?
Hey, we're starting to
Oh, for
get
the
close
for
to
the
For
slump
the
to
slump
take
to
place?
actually happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
A few hours.
Oh my gosh.
Who needs the extra
Yeah. Well, the actual, massive movement probably took place in the time it takes for a large earthquake to occur, which is minutes. And then the settling out and breaking up of all of this material could take a few more minutes. But this was clearly a substantial event that
Get this
created
white guy.
these huge blocks.
I know I'm way out. But,
Squat lobster. Okay, Tara. Yes, she's got it in there. Thank you, Tara.
One for up close and one for distance. So if you see the color corrections change.
Copy that, Rollins.
So I do have a hard return, but I do see behind it as well. So I'm not.
Well,
I think
is
that.
that noise?
I think it's. I mean,
That's not a super hard return. I don't know what the scale is set to there.
Cute little guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Boy, this looks exactly
So we're
like
just
the one we
actually
saw
smooth.
earlier. Look at him.
3 meters or so.
There he goes. He's swimming.
You guys comfortable with another one?
Swimming and settling.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can see out. So.
Right, we pull wide. Okay, thank you. Some swimming shrimp. Let's get this guy.
Bridge nav. What's our distance to
We have
the
a shrimp.
We
next
do.
barrel?
Oh,
How
how
much move?
pretty that
Love
is.
to watch them
left.
move.
Okay, could you please tack on another 30 meters, 090 bearing?
So that's another
0.1
one. If
knots.
I remember correctly, boy, I wish I could remember who told us
This
the other
one
day.
doesn't
That's
have
using,
the
it's not
real
using the
long.
that it's not using its
antennae.
swimming legs. It's using legs on its thorax. But Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're not on the elliptical.
Scott's doing his exercises this evening.
We're broadcasting across many different
time
time zones,
zones.
and there are people who stick with us
All the
sometimes
way.
till 2 o'clock in the morning. So we really appreciate it.
I think you're right, Shirley. You can see the other legs tucked up under its thorax. Or is it the
abdomen.
abdomen? No, see on the red part.
Yeah, red part.
Close to its head. You can see they're like this,
Okay.
like a bunny rabbit,
Oh, okay.
begging.
Oh, but that's what it's feeding with.
No,
maybe.
no,
No?
see, there's a whole bunch of them.
Okay. Yep. All righty.
Yeah, look at them all.
When you're
Yeah.
clear video.
Yep,
Alrighty.
yep.
Yep.
Lots and
yeah,
lots of little
yep,
legs
yep,
under
yep,
there.
Yep. Sure are. Okay.
Ooh, and a giant brown rock.
This. Oh, really? It's a mysid. Oh, this is a mysid. It's a possum shrimp. Wow. Cool. Okay. Great. Oh my gosh! Look at this.
Rock City. Woo-ha. Oh, the Sirius view is stunning.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed.
Wow.
I am wondering if this event caused a local tsunami.
Now, how long ago would this have happened?
Well, the age of these seamounts is 100, maybe 120 to 80 million years.
Okay.
And so
Just a quick snap zoom on that, please.
hard to know exactly when.
Come in tight.
This is a sponge
Sorry.
of the siliceous type, right?
Yes, it's a hexactinella sponge.
Hexactinella.
All of the ones we see down here in deep water are going to
Have
be
been-
all ones that have siliceous spicules, silicon dioxide spicules.
And is that because we're
Commercial.
below the CCD, the
yes, as a
carbonate
matter of fact,
compensation
yes,
depth?
that's correct.
Life is a lot easier if they're not dissolving, right?
Right.
Okay. The
Chris says this is a bolosomid or a rosellid, and he would
Pulling out
know.
partial.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pilot.
And he doesn't.
You know way more than I do about the hexactinellid sponges, Chris, and many other things as well.
Yeah, this rock.
Yeah, my
that-
guess
oop,
would be
sorry.
it's a caulophacus of some kind,
Yeah.
so probably a rosellid, but
Yeah.
just can't tell, really. It's difficult.
A lot on
Yeah.
that side.
So these rocks. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chris.
I think
These
it's
rocks now
starting to
have
get
more
close
brown
to
on
the
the.
base.
They
So
do,
it's
yeah. That's what I
deeper.
just typed
Yeah.
into the.
Because
Oh, that's okay.
These are all the rocks that fell off it.
Yep. Rock behind the sponge is brown and light brown in some places.
So the light brown, I think, is showing through areas where some of the manganese incrustation has been scraped off as these rocks tumbled down.
Yep. Deb says that this is definitely a mix of things that look
Right.
igneous, things that look either sedimentary or volcaniclastic. Who knows?
Agree with Deb.
Deb was our geology science lead on leg 1 of this expedition.
That was not a command,
Comment on
but
the
an
fish.
exclamation. I do agree with Deb.
Do
We
have a
have
nice-
another one of these little guys.
Much harder
little
return
fish.
now at 30, or he's adjusting it.
Very similar
That's
to
why.
the small one we
Yeah,
saw
this
earlier.
is another one of these Lucicorus that we imaged a little while ago.
Okay,
and it's
same
so
thing.
distinctive with the white body and sort of the gray head. And one of the features you look at for this fish, which Bruce Mundy has mentioned several times, is it doesn't have a lens in its eye. So you look at its eye, it's a fairly large eye, but it's not like some of the other fish that we've seen. So that's pretty diagnostic. I don't think Ken's going to come back disputing the ID on this.
Well, that's good.
Great, thanks. Yeah, the eyes are kind of creepy looking, huh? That kind of creepy stare.
Ghostly.
Okay, thank you very much, Pilot.
Video. Snap on this white object. Don't have much time here. Coming out.
You said the outer end.
Oh, we can just hold this for a second.
Okay. I'll do it.
There, coming out. Let's get this.
Oh, tiny sponge. Okay, Chris, what is this guy?
I don't know. I've seen so many weird things today. I honestly don't know. I can't even put it in a family right now.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll have to show this to Shirley in the snaps that the videographers are cutting out of the video record, so she can make an ID. She stepped out for lunch.
Pretty hard
So
return.
biologist on shore, chime in. I'm here on my own, and I'll be describing rocks if you don't.
Did we get enough of
And
that,
these
Rob?
rocks are brown, where the manganese
probably
coating
if we were
is
super
not
tight, it'd be nice, but we got that angle.
is not covering them up. This is more suggestive of a
Yeah, not much time,
igneous
pilot.
or non-volcanic, except that it might be volcanic clastics, broken up volcanic rock erupted from a violent explosion.
Next soon.
And this sponge has a beautiful sort of conical shape, radiating structures from the center.
Okay,
And it looks
yeah,
like
I'd like you
a
to check this out.
thin membrane
video.
enclosing the outer surface.
And so there are these cup-like sponges that have that basophytous attachment, and so you notice it had some ridges in it too, and I think that'll help. I have a potential idea of maybe what group it could fit into, but it could be something that has been described from New Zealand, but certainly not in Hawaii.
Thanks, Chris. Oh, we're seeing a lot of slabs now of what look like they may have been originally layered, and that's encouraging.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing past these, pilot.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
don't think
just
that's right,
slabs
so, yeah.
that have fallen down
I
on
think we're
top
all right.
of one another. But the lighter color of the rock where it's exposed, where broken, suggests that we're getting maybe some of the reef material that we're hoping to see further up. We'll be able to tell when we get to the wall. But still, the fragments of rock that we're seeing on this slope are very unusual. In terms of other talus slopes we have climbed up on approach to a steep wall.
Look at that. Wow.
Mostly what we see
big
are
features
very
today.
small fragments, a lot of sediment, maybe some boulder-sized things, a couple meters in diameter, but nothing
4
the
meters for the
size of
ship to move.
these. If you
That-
look in
Good, 4
the
more meters for the
Sirius
ship
view,
move.
the one in the center of the 3 images available to you, the feeds available to you on the bottom of your computer screen, you can see the remotely operated vehicle as it approaches these boulders, and it gives you a sense of scale because that vehicle is about 2 meters across the top, and maybe
Look at my view.
2.5,
Those
3
look like
meters
huge rocks.
from the lights to the back end of the ROV.
Makes
So
D2
these
look
are
pretty small.
gigantic
Which is hard
chunks
Yeah.
of the side of the scarp we're approaching that have fallen
Such a
down
small bit.
onto the
to do. I
slope.
know, it's tiny.
So we are at this. We are at the site at the end.
Oh, the ship is at the end.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna stop rushing you so much.
So maybe
We're getting very
Let's come
close
in on
to the steeper part of the
video.
slope now. And right now we're zooming on what looks, yeah, it's a sponge. Woof. For a minute I was thinking it was something other than a sponge, and I was getting scared because I don't know these critters. And just in case
Well,
you're
I was
wondering,
looking more at the rock. Certainly looks like there could be some fossils in the rock too, particularly to the upper left.
Yeah, I agree that this is different, Chris.
Just a
It
little
looks
bit.
like it has little angular fragments of the white material. It may still be cemented talus, but maybe not. Maybe
See
we're
any-
starting to see
any
some of
fossils here?
the
I do
some
not.
of the reef deposits we're anticipating.
Let's come in here.
Rock to the right, off screen, seem to have a brown swirl pattern at the top. Left of the sponge, white rock.
Boy, hard to say.
It is hard to
It'll
say. I
be
agree.
a little clearer, but it wouldn't surprise me if we've got some things in the rock here, some shell fragments and stuff like that.
Well, there certainly are some curved surfaces to some
There's
of
one
these
there
fragments.
between the lasers.
Give me more zoom.
Just above the left laser, there appears to be a curved surface. I don't see any ribs in it. And many of these fragments are very angular. I think this is likely to be talus from the base of the slope rather than intact fragments of the reef deposit that were broken off. So probably we ought to head along up the slope and see if we
Right, come on
can
up.
see where this stuff came from. Thank you, pilot. That was fun.
You're welcome. Let's come on up. And let's see what's out in front.
Or whatever you're comfortable with. Do another move. But
I think we can do another move. What do you think, Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
bridge nav. Another move, please. 30 meters, bearing 090, 0.2, 0.1 knots.
Come on in, video.
Oh, is this a brittle star? Or is it? Nope, nope, not a brittle star. But tip of one of its arms has been chewed off. This is a sea star. We have seen now, I think, 3 of these. So they like this depth and substrate. On the uplifted parts of the ends of the arms, you can see the tube feet and a pteropod shell down below. There is, looks like some layering in the rock this critter is sitting on. And there's a sea star up there, above it to the right. Not sure.
Video swapping out.
Copy.
We are still seeing disaggregated huge boulders. So what we're looking at on the seafloor is not in place. In other words, not outcropping a solid block of the originally deposited material, but rather we're looking at gigantic boulders that have fallen off the wall that we're approaching, which is incredibly steep. So we're hoping when we get there, we will be seeing potentially more fauna, and that rock over to the left is layered and has a lot of rocks in it. The one in the upper left, yeah, can we just look a little closer of
Keep
that
an eye
lighter rock
tether, should
with
be
the
all right.
black specks in it, pilot?
Roger.
Yeah, you're good.
This rock looks layered like that which we may see when we get farther up. There's another one above it that looks the same. So here again, we're getting into a
Come on,
different
video.
sort of lithology. Wondering if any of these rocks we're looking at are
Holding partial.
actually part of reef deposit. I don't know. Chris, what do you think about what we're seeing right now on the screen?
Well, the rocks are getting lighter, so that seems to imply that maybe we are getting into some reef deposits. I don't understand what the darker pieces are in there yet. They look, as you mentioned, to be more talus-like rather than fossils, but I'm just not sure.
Okay. Well, thank you, Pilot. That's great. I guess we ought to try to move on to the actual outcrops.
Let's get that in the background right there. Is that anything?
We have a sponge desperately attached to a piece of talus. We've seen very little in the way of benthic animals on this part of the slope, probably because it had been at some point in the past very dynamic with all these huge boulders coming down the slope, and anything living on the surface of any of them likely would have been crushed.
Okay, when you think you're clear.
Clear.
Okay.
And as we go up the slope, it is almost 0000 Zulu. In other words, it's almost noon out here, lunchtime on the ship. And Shirley, our biology lead, is down eating in the galley. She'll be up in a little while. My name is Patty Fryer. I'm the geology lead for this leg of our expedition. This is the NOAA ship, Okeanos Explorer, coming to you live from the seafloor. We are on America's ship for ocean exploration. And what we're doing is exploring the Marianas Trench National Marine Monument area. This expedition is the 2016 deepwater exploration of the Mariana region. It's only possible through successful partnerships and collaboration. So the mission is designed and supported by NOAA's Office of Exploration and Research, but the ship itself is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine and Aviation Operations. So this expedition that we're on is part of a 3-year campaign to address the Pacific Monument science, technology, and ocean needs. So you'll hear us use the nickname Capstone, which is what that stands for. And it's designed to address the fundamental need of resource managers to better understand the deepest parts of the nation's marine monuments. We have several key partners for the effort: the NOAA National Marine Fisheries, NOAA's Marine National Monuments Program, those are the people who manage the monuments, NOAA's Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program. Another important partnership for the Okeanos Explorer, that's our ship, is the National Center for Environmental Information, NOAA's NCEI. So through this partnership, all the data that we're getting are going to be publicly available within 60 to 90 days after they are collected. And this is extraordinarily fast for data to be made available to the public. So a typical timeline for a project that I or Shirley or any of the principal scientific investigators might propose to a federal agency, timeline to get that data out would be 2 to 3 years. As the researchers study the samples or data that they have collected, write up their results, get them published, there is a moratorium period on the data until that's all accomplished. So what's happening with the information, data, and the samples collected on board this ship is all of this gets made available and accessible through a very close partnership with the National Center for Environmental Information. So part of what's exciting about our cruise and our dives today is that this mission of exploration operates in a unique way.
Jim?
All of the operations are community driven, so the entire scientific community is available for exploring
Yeah, I don't
and
think we put in a lot of
discussing
layback,
what
but
may be the
there's some
particular
we've been trying to
things of
continuously
interest
move
for a
till we get
given
to the bottom of the
leg
cliff,
of
which
the
Yeah.
we're not very
expedition.
far from.
So the questions
approach
that
it very
we
slowly.
propose are
Very carefully.
decided upon by
okay, so
a
that
community
move-
of scientists.
So
We
have
then
just to make it to
discuss
the waypoint
what
we wanna
particular
make, so
dives, what
at the end,
particular
just
parts of
gotta
the
do
monument, in this case, we might like to
600ths
take a
of a
look
knot
at. People
average.
propose individual
Okay.
dives. Those
I
are
mean, we're going to be at
discussed
this
in
cliff for a while.
conference
I know.
calls
Yeah, I don't-
and
I don't-
think-
decided
I'm not sure doing that is
upon.
possible.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely
Being safe is more important.
Yeah,
community-driven,
absolutely.
and all
Okay,
of
makes
the
sense.
discussions we have on board the ship with our wonderful shore-based scientists. Some people just call in from their offices. Some people are in the expedition or exploration, that is, command centers, the ECCs. We might refer to them that way. Some people just call in from home. They're
I noticed
getting
on the way
exercise
down
on
they
their
had the
treadmill.
hydraulics running.
They're
and
watching
he's
the
still got
TV
it
screen
running
as
now.
they
Is
do
that
so.
something you
Grab
guys
your
wanted
phone
to
and
do?
call
Leave it
in.
on
That's
when we're
you,
in deeper
Scott.
depths.
Yeah, okay.
There are a lot of
Sometimes
people who are
the,
watching,
HPU
including
has a hard
30
time
to
staying.
35,000
Because of the oil.
viewers
Just leave it
among
at
the
the
public
minimum RPM.
on shore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our
Yeah, you with me, Nav?
cohort of
Okay.
aquanauts, and we're very
So,
pleased to have you today.
We
We've
want to
just
be
had a shift change,
very, very
and we have a
diligent,
new group of pilot, navigator,
approach
co-pilot, and
the base of this
videographers
cliff. It's very steep.
in the
We're at
control room
4,300
here, and
meters.
as soon as they've get themselves
Delays about 10
settled,
minutes.
Okay.
we'll get some
Uh,
introductions going.
You know, and if
I
we
am
start
Patty
swinging into
Fryer.
the wall,
I'm
we will
from the
not
University
be able
of
to get up to the top
Hawaii.
of it
I'm a
by winching
marine
in at full
geology
speed.
research professor
So we're going to take
in
it
the
very
Hawaii
slowly,
Institute
very
of
cautiously.
Geophysics and
Gotcha.
Please keep a
Planetology
close eye on the
on
sonar.
the UH
Keep a close
Manoa
eye on what the
campus
ship is doing.
on the island of Oahu in Hawaii.
Because even as something as simple as rotating about midship when they're changing their heading or anything like that.
So the pilots have exchanged
Cause
a bit of
problems, so,
information about what's going on
let's-
with the ship on the surface
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
and
on
with
the
the two
Sirius sonar
vehicles
there, that's
that
out.
we're using
what
to
are we on?
explore
we have
the
another
50
few
seafloor.
meters. We have another few meters.
So it'll be a few
left in
minutes
this move.
until they
We'll be
have got
moving for
themselves
another 10 minutes
organized and we
after
can
that.
get them to introduce
I want to
themselves
take it
to
real
you.
slow,
Okay.
do real small hops, and I'll push out.
We're
and kinda
approaching a
see what I can
really
find on
steep
DQ sonar.
wall
Okay.
with the
But just help
remotely
me keep a real
operated
close eye on
vehicle. So
everything.
we are going to be very
It's a
careful
precarious
about
situation. So-
Now, in a
moving
situation like
the
this,
ship
might you want to
and
run
the
both the
Sirius vehicle,
HPUs
which
down
is
there
right
so you can
above
get
the
more speed?
ROV
You
and
don't-
tethered to
That's
it
not
by a
even-
30
let's
meter
not
long
even go
cable.
there, huh?
Let's not put ourselves in that
Because
position.
the
Okay. All right.
scarp is so steep, it's
So
often
I was
approached
surprised when he turned both
extremely
of them on
carefully
yesterday. And it was had it
because
up
if there are
around
any currents
40,
or
44, something like that.
if
43,
the wind is
44.
strong, which
Yeah.
in fact it isn't very strong today,
Okay.
but if it were,
yeah,
you
it doesn't
know,
feel like there's much current. So that's
it would
good.
be difficult
Uh,
to make sure that the
Yeah,
ship
let's-
and
Yeah, we got
Sirius
something
keep
going
it
out
out.
there
don't
at
move
about
too
45
rapidly
meters.
toward
Yeah.
a very steep
which is good.
part of the
I want to make sure
seafloor.
Sirius is.
Don't want to bump into anything.
Ideal. Let's make it like 20 meters off the
If
wall.
you take a look
Let's
at
shoot
the
for that.
quad screen, which is the feed that you have on the far right of the three on the bottom of your computer screen, you'll see 4 images. That's why we call it the quad screen. And in the bottom right-hand corner, there are 2 circles. The circle on the left of the 2 shows
so
you the
we
sonar
just-
returns from
looks
the
like the ship
seafloor
just
in
stopped.
front of the vehicle.
Right.
And I
So
think
10-minute
that the
delay.
range is 10
Have you
meters, so
felt
each of the
like
circles you
feel like you're
see
moving, Don?
Yes.
is 2.5 meters out from
I think it's
the
stopped.
ROV. The feed on the right-hand side
if
of
you
the
look
2
at the GPS,
circles is
You look at
the sonar
instantaneous.
from the Sirius vehicle, which is suspended above the remotely
Yeah, I think
operated vehicle, D2.
pretty much stopped, but
So you can see
I
in
think I started moving.
When
the
was the move
right-hand
called in?
circle that we are approaching right in front of
okay,
Sirius,
so you're probably just starting it.
which is
And that was a
at the
30-meter
moment
move.
headed
And you're seeing the
almost
cliff.
due east.
40
So
meters out,
86 or
37
so
and a half
degrees
meters
as
out
it's
right there.
heading.
That ring.
That looks like the wall. So I'm not sure what
Right.
the range
even know if
is
we'll
on the
need to
Sirius vehicle. But we can see very hard returns on D2's sonar return scan. And that means that we have something large or significant
Yeah, that should be the only move
in
that we're
terms of
moving.
slope
Yep.
right in front of the vehicle.
I don't
So
think
as
we're gonna
pilots
need to
get
move.
settled out
Yeah.
and descend back down to
I'm
the
gonna keep
seafloor,
track
we're
of
about 6 meters
here as
above the
well,
seafloor
so
at
that
the
we don't
moment.
get behind and lose
You're
either
going to
one.
see a whole bunch of really large boulders that we've been traversing at the base of this scarp.
All right, watch lead. We're all settled in. Just wanted to get everyone up to speed on the situation here. We're just starting to feel that move that the last watch put in, and we're going to slowly approach the base of the cliff. Take a few minutes for Sirius to move over there, so we can hang out here for a bit.
I'm listening to the pilot explain what's happening. Thank you, pilot. I wonder if it's time for an introduction of our front row now,
Sure.
if you're ready.
Sure, yeah. So just had a shift change. We're the afternoon watch. We've got Andy Lister as navigator. I'm Dan Rogers as pilot. Don Liberatore as co-pilot. And Fernando Aragon is co-pilot in training. And Tara Smithy on video, and Annie White clipping, saving all the footage we're getting for you today. We're all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, and pretty excited to be on this cliff today, so hopefully we find something cool for you.
Thanks very much, pilot. Again, huge boulders. We've been seeing this for most of the dive.
I'm even thinking maybe we back the ship up like 5 to 10 meters. What do you think, Nev?
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good idea.
So
Move it up, 10 meters
our
from now.
pilot is suggesting that
let's
we
move
back the
back.
ship up a
Yeah,
little bit
let's move-
because
let's
the
move the ship
slope
back
is
10 meters to
getting
counteract
pretty
that move.
steep.
I think that might
Bridge,
have been a
Nav.
little much.
So we're going to have a slight reorientation here.
Hey, we're going to get a ship move of 10 meters.
Just so that we can approach the slope real carefully. And Shirley is back. Did you leave any food for me, my dear?
Yes.
Can you make sure that he
She
had the right
says
Well,
yes.
but
bearing?
see,
He didn't
I
repeat the bearing,
ate
and
stuff
that's
you don't
pretty
need. I
critical
had
here.
a
Hey, Bridge, what
slider,
bearing did you have?
cheeseburger. It was yummy.
Ew.
Okay,
right.
where
No
are
thanks. We are with
Yeah,
our
let's always
new
make
crew
sure that
who's just been
they have their
introduced,
GPS.
and I have explained to
Keep going,
folks
exactly.
all about the Okeanos and
Okay,
its
good.
partners.
So we've done a who we are, where we are, what we're
we
doing, why we're
have.
here. Great.
We have.
Great.
So we are ready to go. The ship is
Alright.
just getting backed up a little bit, Shirley, because we are almost at the wall. Here you can see it
Oh,
on
yeah, good.
the sonar. And
Good.
so because it's so steep, we're just approaching real carefully. So I'm going to sign off for a little bit and go down and grab a bite.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, have fun. Hope
I
you see
will.
some critters. We really haven't seen very many, but there was a cool sponge that
I saw it just
Chris,
as I left.
Chris
Just
couldn't
as I
identify.
left.
Ah,
Pretty much
okay,
zero
maybe you
nine
Just
zero,
know
as I,
what
oh,
it
no,
is.
No,
Zero
the
nine
one
zero.
that was just when I left
If
for
you can't hear
lunch.
me,
Is that the one?
can you turn
Yeah.
me up?
Yeah, well, I was hearing you earlier just fine.
Okay.
Something changed.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Cool. All right.
Okay, you're up all the way.
All right, so you're pretty much on it.
Okay, so since I've been gone from my computer for a while, it kicked me out of the chat room, so I'm going to try and get back in. So in the meantime, keep entering any sightings along the way. We are at 4,340 meters. So we still have about... yeah,
I'm
go.
sure they have a bailout plan of 270.
Yeah,
We
That
still have
log.
about
before we
30,
left, they said it was still
sorry,
780.
300
Okay.
meters vertically that
That's
we
good.
want to cover.
Jim tells me we'll need to
In the
average
next,
0.06 knots. I imagine we're going to be at this wall for a while,
two
so
and a
I do
quarter
not know
hours.
if we're going to make that. But
I think
you want to
that's
zoom in video?
important anyway.
Yeah, no, safety first. Yes. Oh,
It's literally on top of this wall is where we're going.
oh, really?
I
So
mean,
it's not.
right here, right off the side.
Diva
Okay,
Amon
so
has
I
joined
think we'll
us
be
from
okay,
the
huh?
University of Hawaii.
What? What's going on
Diva
with
was
that?
the biology science lead during
You
leg
want to kill
one.
lasers, Don?
Thank you.
Okay, so I think this
Nope.
looks like one of the other ones we saw before.
I think-
Mysid.
Can you reset power on Zeus? There we go. We got it. We got it.
Goodness.
That was strange.
Oh, booty.
No, that was me. That was me.
Okay. Okay.
I was trying to do it quick, and I hit the Zeus instead of the
Gotcha.
lasers with my finger.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that video.
Hey, you want me to zoom
It's
in
okay.
on sonar so you have
Can we zoom out?
Yep.
Yes, please.
what do you like?
Let's go to 20. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Deb, did you introduce
Don.
the interns
Go ahead.
who are
Sorry,
with you
we do
today in
wanna
the Exploration
train Fernando.
Command
I just
Center at
wanna make
Harbor
sure
Branch?
Keep an eye on it.
Have your full attention right now, and then once we're
Okay.
settled out,
Can I let them introduce
the more eyes on it, the better.
Right.
Don't be bashful.
Come on over.
Hello, my name is Jorge Monroy, and I'm an intern at Harbor Branch. I'm under Greg O'Corey Crow.
Tell me your sister is here.
And my sister's here, the one who brought about Falcor.
Oh, when we had the event the other night with,
Out here tonight.
yep, the other night from the Harbor Branch Exploration Command Center. Great, thanks for
Just rather
participating.
make sure we're safe.
Yep.
We really like
Roger.
to
Settled.
be able to involve our
You know,
students,
have to wait a little bit
students
to-
of all ages, to
Just like
this
It looks like we
exploration
have
and
stopped
discovery in deep sea
moving
environments.
towards the cliff by the sonar.
Does that
anyway. Yep.
does a 20-meter move started at that time that 30-meter move was started? Seem like we'd be stopped now.
Yes.
Okay. Because since we backed the ship up,
Yes, it should be stopped.
essentially a 20-meter move, right?
So what I think is that this is going to be as close as we get on this last move. So as we get comfortable, we can hop forward a little bit.
Okay. Let's just wait a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep a close eye on your sonar, Don, and
Roger.
let me know if you see any move. That is a useful time to use the marker.
Oh,
You put the
right there.
marker right
Yeah.
on the, or Nav's got it, I guess.
Yes.
but-
Okay.
Show you how, Don, if
Yep.
you wanted to see. Well,
So he'll just put it right at that
I think I lost
return.
Yeah, yeah.
control. You might have control now. Yeah, okay, so you can just take it like this.
Mm-hmm. And drag the other one up, yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing another,
Just like that.
looks like another Cuskill. And
You want to zoom in?
no, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Thank you. This is same species as the one we saw a little bit
Looks
earlier.
Like the main face of it is over here.
Oh gosh, what's this whitish? Oh my gosh. Okay, Chris.
Oh, you sound excited.
Chris, get ready.
I think that looks like a cliff.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, let's get lower swing arms in.
Roger.
Okay, Deb and Jean, what do you think we're seeing here?
I think Gene may have wandered off to dinner as well,
Okay, port side is
which
in.
is too bad
Cool.
because I feel like he'd be very, very helpful at this moment.
Yeah.
So it's obviously something that
All right, we look
it's
pretty
either
much
some kind
settled
of
out on
volcaniclastic
yeah,
or it's a sedimentary
moving well
rock,
according to the sonar.
because you can see the clap
Sides in.
inside a matrix
Okay,
of
so
the finer
Don,
material.
Yes.
Let's
But we
let's have
really
you
don't
turn
know
your
what
head a
it
little
is.
bit more.
We're going to try and zoom in on that.
Which way you want
Pilot,
to
can we zoom in on that
Try
rock,
to center
please?
up on the face that's
Oh,
closest,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, right. Not a-
Yeah, the white part.
Yes, please.
Okay, zoom in.
It's going to put us about 30 meters away from the wall.
Okay.
That's partial.
So,
30 meters.
Yeah, I would say no more than 20 meter move.
Well, if we want to stay, I would say let's put in a.
So this doesn't look like
I'd say let's
fossil
put in a
material
10-meter
to
move to
me.
start.
This looks more like some type of basalt talus or
Does that
something
sound
like
good to you,
that,
both of
but
you?
I'm not
Yep.
sure.
Towards Sirius's heading, which is 080.
Which is 080. Yeah.
Sound good, Nav?
What heading did you decide on?
080.
080 looks like we're headed right
Jean, do you
into
want a
it.
closer zoom
We'll
than
do-
that?
Go ahead and do that.
We'll do 10 meters, 0.1 knots.
I can take a closer look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gene, are you on the telecom by any chance?
That's
There
full
we,
zoom.
there we go. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to get a 10 meter, that's 10 meters at 080, 0.1 knot.
Looks interesting.
Good copy,
Okay, I'm
thanks.
pulling you now. You want to zoom out a bit? There's interesting contrast here. You can really see it in the manipulator cameras.
It's partial.
Okay.
So Gene Ranke is saying definitely clasts in finer
When I come
matrix. Great. Thank you, pilot.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, so we got to move in to bring us a little closer to the wall, and then we'll start moving up.
Sounds good. Going to move in, get a little bit closer to the wall so we can start moving up. We are at 4,335 meters. It's very interesting.
So this is Deb again.
Hey, Deb.
You want to arrange in my sonar?
So Gene's not on the telecon, but he is on the event log, which you guys have heard. And I think that both of us right now, we're looking at this and we're saying, well, it's definitely got clasps and it definitely has a matrix, but we just don't know yet what it is. So we're going to look forward to moving up the slope and seeing what we can discover about it.
Because as we move up the slope, that might give you some clues as to what it is we're seeing downslope, right? So Gene says, hard to tell. Clasts are rounded, poorly sorted. What's their origin? Could be volcanics, eroded, or perhaps even reefal. Not reef or slope, however. Well, perhaps debris flow, which really just suggests downslope transport. But ultimate origin of the clasts is indeterminate. Good summary, Deb.
This white organism here?
No, just keep on moving.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
So Don, we
These
can actually.
colors are sure pretty.
Yeah, they are. Do you want to get a zoom quickly, or are you happy?
Yeah,
with
we
the
can.
idea? You want to zoom in video?
Yeah, real quickly. You
Sure.
can do a snap.
Let's hold there.
Cool.
I don't know if I've ever seen a sonar return so clean.
So clean, yeah. Hard.
Great, thank you.
All right, zoom out.
Flat
So we got
for the moment.
sea star or crinoid or something over here.
Hey,
It-
well, I'm gonna change
Yeah, it
your
looks like it
bailout
might be
plan
a
to
sea star over there. We can just do
That's
a
fine with
quick
me.
snap zoom
250,
on
I
that,
copy too.
just so we can document it.
Bridge nav.
Sure, zoom.
Hey, I'd
over.
like to change the bailout plan, update it with you to 250.
You want to zoom in video?
Yep.
Good copy.
Perfect.
Sure. Test 1, 2, 3.
It's very
Can you hear me
similar
now?
to the one we saw a little bit
Hold
earlier.
Hold there.
Test.
Nice.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, zoom out.
Any better?
And Don, we can come up a little bit
Yeah, I am.
while we're waiting.
Okay.
I'll come up with you.
All right. Sounds good.
Was that any better, Bridge? Can you hear me now? Copy that.
So we're zoomed in so close I can't tell. Is this just a big border, or are we on the wall, or where are we with respect to the
show
main
Chris where we
feature?
are.
I've got no sense of where we are.
Okay, stand by.
You want to brighten that up? Yep, that is a vertical face. Oh, I think we are. We are. I mean, this is a vertical face.
Okay, so just talked to Dan, our pilot, and he said we are at a vertical face right now. So it looks like we might be right at the base of that wall, Chris.
Okay, got it. Yeah, this pan helped a lot. Just looking right and left, that certainly helps get me oriented a bit better.
Great.
And if you look down in the Sirius view, you can see the sediment at the base of the wall.
And if you look on the quad screen, on the sonar image from both Sirius, which is on the lower right, and like the right-hand side of that lower right panel, and then you look at the sonar image from Deep Discovery, you can see a real clear, sharp return, indicating that wall.
How far up
yeah.
we moved here, you think? Or have we
we have
No, we did move a little bit. We've come in, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4
Have you changed
meters.
height at all, by any chance?
we've come up
did
a little
bit, but not a whole lot.
Okay.
So yeah, that could account for it, I guess.
Oh, well, we'll watch it real carefully right now. I don't.
I mean, I'm pretty comfortable right about this distance.
I didn't call it in until 17,
Right.
so it could be moving now. Just starting, maybe a couple more minutes.
Well, I reset that the marker line there just when you called it in. So
okay.
Yeah. So we have moved in a little bit, like you said, could be because we came up.
Okay. Because this is quite vertical.
So we're approaching this wall very carefully, so make sure that we're not having any forward movement of the ship to drag us off of or into
how's the
the
tether
wall.
look to you, Don? It's a little stretched out.
So a little bit
and we're
trickier
only
when we're
13
dealing
above
with
you there, so I could come
keeping
in a little
positioned
bit more.
over these nearly
But
vertical
we will
walls.
be. What was the move? How many did you call it?
Was it
10
So that's
meters.
what they're doing
you think
right
we'll be
now.
okay, or do you want to?
Just getting the ship and Sirius
You do another 5.
and Deep
No, I don't
Discover
wanna get
all
any-
in position.
Any closer? No.
I think you're doing fine
I think
there.
we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll let that move finish out, and I think that we'll be set. So, all right, watch lead. I'm just slowly coming up. Sirius is moving in a little closer. Give me a little more tether.
Roger that.
But we're looking good. Let me know if there's anything you want to see specifically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, unless we hit another shelf where it slopes off in a different angle rather than vertical, this is just fine.
So we're seeing a couple more of the hexactinellate sponges that we've seen earlier. We're panning up to take a look up towards the top of Deep Discover. Make sure everything's in position.
So what are we
Nothing
looking at? How did this form? What's the history here?
So let's see, Deb or Jean. I guess Jean's not on the phone line, or even Chris. Can you tell us a little bit about how this all formed? What's some of the geologic history?
Not me. Yeah, I mean, if it had looked like what we saw the other day on subducting geode 1, that would be a little bit easier to explain. But what we're looking at right now, I don't really know what happened here. Maybe we're in layers that are too far into the seamount to below the seamount, and as we come up, we'll start to see some of the lagoonal sediments that we saw in Geode 1. I have no idea.
So, Chris,
in my mind.
Chris, tell us a little bit about what the scientific interest you have in these geos and why we've been exploring them.
And cope out the other thing to help me watch out for
Well, so these two dives, I proposed these two dives, subducting Geode 1 and subducting Geode 2, because they provided an absolutely unique opportunity. Both of these geos, and by geo I mean a flat-top seamount that used to be at the surface, forming an island and then subsequently a lagoon or atoll, 100 million years ago. And now it's dropped down to quite deep waters, and these seamounts are very slowly going down into the Mariana Trench, where they'll disappear forever. And as they're going down, they've cracked open a bit, and it actually causes a fault scarp to have formed through the top of the seamount to a depth of about 400 or 500 meters. And it actually gives us like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take a look at the inside of the seamount and peer back 100 million years ago to when supposedly these geodes were shallow seas. The old reefs back in the Cretaceous, they were dominated by bivalves and not by corals. There were corals present, but they weren't that as numerous as they are in modern-day tropical reefs. And so these are the types of things we're looking for, to look at bivalves and confirm we're looking at the inside of these geodes. But also, we might find other types of fossils. There are a lot of aquatic reptiles, or not a lot, but some aquatic reptiles, including the famous mosasaur and the ichthyosaurs that were cruising these seas as well. And so there were ammonites, these straight nautiloids, and belemnites, and there's supposedly a fish that was 15 feet long that used to live in these shallow seas as well. And so it was just an opportunity, and also it helps in many ways, not just for the paleontologists, but also for geologists in understanding how these features formed. And so we're taking advantage of the situation where I can't think of really any other way we would have had a look like this into the center, the interior of one of these seamounts.
Thanks, Chris. That's exactly what I was hoping you would explain. And just the other day, when we dove on subducting Geo 1, we found what I'm hoping we're going to find is we get a little bit shallower, but maybe not. But we found we landed in an area where it was quite clearly fossils. And in fact, Gene Ranke, who's joining us today from the University of Kansas, has been emailing back and forth about some of the things that, because he took a look at these pictures from the dive the other day, and we were thinking about these middle to upper Cretaceous rudists, these mollusks that you're talking about, and so he was giving some preliminary identifications to them, but I'm not going to quote them quite yet.
I don't remember where we got those markers from.
We could just take that line, turn it 90
But for sure they were fossils, for sure. Yeah, go ahead, Chris, sorry.
I think we're okay. I was just...
Yeah, I've been in communication with a rudist specialist in the UK. His name is Dr. Peter Skelton, and you can find him on ResearchGate. And he's very active in publishing on rudist bivalves around the world. And I contacted him and actually sent him photographs from our first geo a few days ago, and he was very fascinated, thought this was great. He didn't see any rudists. He saw other types of bivalves, but he also suggested I contact a couple of researchers in Japan, which I've done, and try to get their help in identifying some of the fossils we collected. So, it's a unique opportunity, and it's just, I was not expecting this. I was expecting to see something very similar to Geo 1, and it's just very different. So I'm trying to get my head around what we're looking at right now. It's quite difficult. Perhaps if we get further up, every volcanic island or seamount, it's volcanic, so there's got to be a volcanic core in it. So perhaps we're still too deep in the seamount, and as we get further upslope, we'll see the transition, the very top of the volcanic part will transition to that Cretaceous lagoonal sediment part that we saw the other day.
You said 5 meters, right? But
that's according to the sonar.
So I'm looking right now back in my notes to see. Let's see. We were pretty deep the other day for subducting Geo 1 also. We were down around this depth the other day as well. Okay. So very interesting.
Okay. I can increase Sirius's sonar too if you guys
No, we're not going to see anything.
No, closer. Bring it in.
Oh, no, it's fine. 25.
It's at 50 fine. Right now.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. We're looking good. I think we're set up nicely. Cool. I got plenty of slack in the tether to move laterally too.
Pilot Watchley, comfortable with this move up the wall now?
Yeah, we are.
Great, thanks.
I'm just cruising along until I hear your word that you want to see something.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so Patty, we're just cruising up the wall now, and our pilot, Dan, said he's going to just cruise along until he gets the word from one of us that we want, or one of our shore-based team that we want to zoom in on something. Let's see. I know that Tina wanted to look at something earlier and I missed it. Okay, so we've got, we can just do quick snap zooms on some of these organisms that we see. Just quick snap zooms so we can get them identified. Okay, thanks. That looks like a crinoid to me. Oh, no, Tara says a brachyngid. Okay.
Really?
And Tina says crinoid. Okay.
Interesting little cutout here.
Yeah. Did he say what made these?
Part of it.
So Gene Ranke says that the point on rudist is that although they are bivalves, they are not the classic symmetrical shells that we see on the shore today. And he mentioned that Bob Scott at Tulsa would be a U.S. expert on rudists. So just keep that in mind if and when we see some fossils today. And as you go back and take
Looks
a look
like
at
we're kinda settled
the
out.
images
Yeah, we're not
that
Good,
were
this is a really nice position.
Yep.
We did good.
collected,
Good
put
on that one.
online
Nice job,
a
guys.
couple of days ago. I think that was July 2nd that we did the
Right.
that dive.
Let me go ahead and mark this and hide.
By the way, our video team at the end of every dive, and actually during the dive, because I have Annie sitting next to me right now, she's doing what's called video clipping and trying to get some really good video clips to
I was just
post.
sitting there looking
and
at
then
it, and it
from
almost looks
these
like it's like
videos, they're also selecting
jutting out as we go up.
images
It-
each day that
is.
we can go
It
back
is.
and take a
Yeah.
look at. Okay, let
you.
us
That's
take
something
that's a
we'll
let
big
us
piece
take a
that
quick.
kind of
Let's take a look
must
at
have
that.
fallen off
Maybe
that
not
way,
so
more
quick.
like a,
Yeah. So
I
that
don't
How
want to
many
say an
corals have we
overhang, but
seen
a
so
Right.
far?
We've got
cut back
two
in the wall.
things
Yeah.
here, Shirley.
Yeah.
We have two colonies that are just crossing over each other.
Zoom in.
That's
Okay.
what
Could
looks
account
like
for
it's
some
so
of those big
unusual.
boulders down at the bottom,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
you're
where
right.
they used
You're
to
right.
live,
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a zoom.
which I think is what Patty was saying earlier, that that's a talus slope down there with all those big boulders, so
Yeah.
all the stuff from upper wall falls down.
Octocoral?
Coming up.
Roger.
Tina's saying
Oh.
acided. Oh, what do we got
Keep an eye
here?
on my brow,
It's not-
my port brow.
Oh,
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
This angle, but-
it's branching.
and it's not a huge deal. We can actually use the brow as like
Has
a
a little
toe,
point
toe hold,
Let's take a look at that.
pseudo toe hold.
Yeah.
But just don't want
But I
to.
think it definitely does come out slightly on your brow there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the
Yep.
shadow there.
Yeah, the shadows
Yep.
gets warped.
Okay, I'm going to go for a
Okay,
bit
so
tighter image.
not
That's
Right down
quite
near the spotlight.
sure
Yeah,
what
that would be
this
really nice, wouldn't it?
is. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What kind of spotlight would penetrate that wash?
An arc lamp, that's what you need. Yep.
Okay, do you
Short
want to
arc,
sample?
xenon or something like that.
I will
Less.
try.
Yes, no? Quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Les was advocating for a collection of this acidid.
Okay. Everybody else agree with that?
Let's go full wide.
You don't have any samples.
They
Just
have
know
a
what you
rock,
do.
just
You
a
have one.
rock.
It wasn't-
Go ahead, watch lead.
Sure, as long as it doesn't take
sure
a lot
can.
of time, because I really would like to get up further up slope a bit, see if we
I
can
think
get
I can do this
into
pretty
those
quickly.
Cretaceous sediments.
Got it.
It's not. I
We
don't know
have
where it
sitting
is.
here at the
I think-
the pilot today
well,
is
that's
the
it.
one who did the most
I thought he
excellent
said the
collection
Port Rock
yesterday
Right there. I can
of
see
the
it.
bubblegum
Oh, yeah,
coral
there's it.
with
There it
the
is, Starboard
encrusting,
Rock,
whatever
Starboard
it was,
Rock.
octocoral or zoanthid one. I meant to take a look at that under the microscope this morning and I forgot.
But it was an
So-
incredibly difficult coral to collect
So
because it
maybe
was
we
so
can't use
This,
autos.
brittle.
Well, I
this
can't use
will
auto
be,
XY.
if in fact this is
I
a
can't get a
bamboo
toe hold,
coral,
so we're going to do this
this
free
will be
floating.
one of the deepest, if not the
Damn it.
There's
deepest
the challenge.
bamboo.
Or you can just bump it
And
with
compared
the
to the
Starboard
other-
Rock
yeah.
box and let it fall in.
collection.
Yeah.
This will cut very nicely. It's not going to be brittle.
Yeah.
Then they can just grab an appropriate length
It
piece
looks
of
like
this
you're
thing,
holding pretty
hopefully,
stationary.
Got auto heading and auto depth.
so
If
that they
there's
get
any
a
current
branch
here, we
point
would not be able to do
in
it.
there, and there I
Doesn't
can
look like
see
there is
right
any. I haven't seen.
above where the two bottom branches are. That would be useful, I think, for Les.
Yes.
And then just stuff that in the box. It should be very straightforward.
Oh, okay. All right. Should not be brittle. Maybe.
Okay, I just conveyed
Maybe I
that
can get a toe
information
hold
to our
It's
pilot,
just not a
Dan.
place where you'd want to use the Auto XY.
There's no bottom lock.
Okay, Auto XY takes from bottom. Gotcha.
I mean, and it's so you're so
And-
far away, and I mean, you have
Okay.
lock, but it's like it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be reliable.
Also,
at
can we
this
see the
altitude.
lasers just quickly before we go in for the...
Yeah, you can turn them on.
Lasers
Oh,
on.
wow. It is big, huh?
All right.
Okay, yeah. Les says that
And-
compared to the other
So they want-
4,000-meter coral that they've been working on,
That's
this
it.
one is gigantic.
Maybe I get on the other
Very
side of it.
interesting. So, yes, we are going to
Maybe I